Hi everyone. I hope you are um, feeling good after all of the retrograde and eclipse and all of the strong energies of April. It was quite an intense, energetic moment, so I hope you're doing well. Today, I wanted to talk to you about. Mm, well, first, I thought it was gonna be about how to let go of people, and we will go through that. But really, my main kind of piece of information I wanted to share with you today is the fact that, or how does connections with people look energetically at a spiritual level. I think this is very useful. And then we can talk about the ways to let go of people or reconnect with people, energetically speaking. So, since I started to deepen my spiritual process, I am able now to see, and this has been theorized as well, of course, by others, but I am able now to see how, when you have a relationship with someone, you have connections that are like cords of energy that come out of your energetic body and connect to other people's body as well. Those cords are usually they come from chakra to chakra, and so but they don't always align with the same chakra. So for example, I have seen people that are in love that have connected a cord from the chakra of the one person to the chakra of the other person. But I also have seen, um, and you can call it distortions perhaps, yeah, like disbalances or something like that. I have seen, when I read the Akashic records and I'm trying to help people, I have, for example, seen people that have connected their heart chakra with the second chakra of the other person, which means that sex is being taken as a substitute for love in that relationship. And so when I see that in my readings, I try to, if the person is willing, obviously, and ready to do that, to reconnect heart to heart and second chakra to second chakra so that the relationship is more harmonious, right? And more balanced. I also remember seeing, for example, because we have all cords with our parents, obviously. This is one of the most important connections that we have. And I have seen, for example, to someone that wasn't able to find romantic partnerships, and when I look at their chords, they had connected their second chakra, where is, has to do with pleasure and sexuality, and among other things, the life force and all of that, was connected to their father's heart. And so that meant that, in that specific case, right, that meant that the person felt felt like betraying their father when they would go to find a partner, because of that connection that was not balanced or harmonious with the father. So helping them to reconnect with their father in the one-on-one chakras was something that I was helping to do, and then they were able to find a partner after some healing, right? And so, when we talk about letting go of people, um, and as I always bring it to home, right? I'm always very transparent of where I am so that you know where the information is coming from. I do struggle a lot with continuing relationships, or like having relationships that last. And I mean friendships, I mean romantic partnerships, I mean any sort of, and through my life and my decades of trying to find and understand myself, I know now that there are many factors that had to do with this. And I just mentioned, in case that you also struggle with sustaining relationships. One of the factors is that I am a highly sensitive person. I get disappointed very easily, and I my emotions are very intense. So sometimes it's hard when you navigate a relationship to be able to bear all the different feelings. As I have talked plenty about, I am in recovery from codependency, so that's another factor. And then in that sense, I feel like I have sustained relationships that I shouldn't have, and then I have let go of relationships too quickly because I cannot pass the disappointment phase that is normal in in human connections. Uh, I also have spoken about being a starseed and how that feels really lonely, and like that you cannot connect with people or you don't understand some of the ways that the earth works. And it's interesting at us on an astrological level. Codependency reflects on my chart as having my Venus in Virgo. I'm not saying that everyone with Venus in Virgo is like that, but like since we have the nurse archetype in our way of loving others, I have definitely been in relationships with people that need a lot of help, that are struggling with addiction, alcoholism, mental health issues and stuff like that. And so the Venus in Virgo in me tries to nurse them, but obviously that has a limitation, and then I get drained and left with nothing, and that's kind of what I'm struggling with healing. And yeah, so like a lot of factors here, and I probably will be struggling with sustaining relationships for more time as I have now. But something that I do know in this like difficult path that I have is that when you let go of people, which I have told you I have done that a lot, unfortunately, sometimes fortunately, sometimes unfortunately. um, the fact that you don't talk to them anymore or that you don't see them anymore doesn't mean that you are not energetically connected. So if you have an ex that you still think about and that you cannot, forget about, um, obviously you will always remember the people that you were connected with, but sometimes if you feel it's a little bit more than that, you are probably still energetically connected. The cords are still there, so if you don't see them but still you're giving them energy, um, so that creates like a loss of energy from your end, right? And that is not always obviously useful, especially if you are certain that you don't want to maintain any real in the world physical relationship with this person. So if you are sure that that's not the way to go, but then you keep thinking about them, you probably have still connected some cords to them, and in that way energy is flowing towards them and out of you. So the way that we kind of like let go or cut cords literally, it's very simple. And if you are into spiritual readings of the world, you might not know, like you might know this, and it's very simple. But if not, it can really be game changer maybe. So I wanted to share that with you. So how do you do that? The first thing is to clear your mind and be in a state of mind that is centered. So if you use any type of meditation that you use, like prepare yourself to be in a place where you're like grounded and your heart is open and all of that stuff, right? And so when you're there, you can visualize yourself entering the hall of records or the akashic records. um, if it's helpful, you can imagine like a huge hall full of books, like that's because I'm a scholar, right? And very tall ceilings, and like and you just intentionally you want to say I'm entering the hall of the akashic records, or the akashic records in general. um, and once you're there, you want to imagine that you have this person that you want to let go of in front of you. um, again with compassion, like wishing them the best, like really holding a good intention for this. And then you want to imagine that you have a sword or a knife made of light. Um, and it's interesting because as whenever you put the intention, and you ask to see the cords that are connecting with the other person, you're gonna see it. You're gonna see which chakras are connected to the other person, and that is already quite interesting. For example, if you have connected your first chakras with the person, meaning that you are both in need of each other for survival. So it could be someone that you have an enterprise with, or like a company with, or things like that. So it could be just that exercise really useful. So once you have seen the cords, you're gonna take the sword, and you're gonna, cut the cords. I have seen people that have cords that are not attached to anything, and it's like cords that are floating in the air. It's really sad to see, because energy is also getting lost there. It seems like such a lost person. So once you have cut the cords, you want to make sure that with the sword you're cauterizing, let's say, the cord, like you're like any remnant, like you're cauterizing, and sort of like, once you see that the cord has gone completely, right, you want to shower it with like white light, and sort of like as if you were nursing that wound, right, and cleaning it, and just like preparing it to grow somewhere else. And then you want to, you know imagine the person also like having their cords cauterized, let's say. And in your own words, you can say that, you know decree that from that moment your paths are going to be taken different ways, and that you're giving back the energy that you received from them, and that you're taking back the energy that you gave them. That is also an interesting exercise, because you can see, relationships in the human plane are not usually balanced, because we're not perfect. So there's always someone that gives more than the other person. And so whenever you're doing this of like coming back to your energy, and giving them your energy, you can see who gave more energy in the relationship, if you're interested in seeing that. And so then you say, what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, I wish you the best. And you imagine them leaving, and you taking another direction and leaving as well. So that is a way in which, again, if you have a relationship that it's not gonna happen, try to recover some of your energy that you might be losing via that connection, right? um, but then there is the opposite work as well, right? um, there are ways, as I was telling you, in which you might need to reconnect your cords to someone. For example, if you're able to do a process of healing with a parent to whom you have cut your cords, because sometimes even children without knowing can do that, and it's really painful, because again, the cords are like just in the air, right? And so if you're able to do a process of healing with your parent that you have cut your cords with, um, and then you feel like you're ready to reconnect the cords, you can also place them in the Akashic records, and imagine that you're connecting your heart to them, right, to their heart, and that you're reconnecting that sort of connection. It could be also from here or from here, depending, like if this is a parent that you want to communicate with, or it's depend on every case. It's different. But so those are the things that you can do to both connect and disconnect. There was a fly. But beyond that, I really wanted to convey this information of the fact that every person that you have a relationship with, you have these cords that come out of you. So I know it's a little mind blowing to feel like you have all these cords that come to so many people, but energetically, that's kind of how it looks like. It's like really intricate and interesting. But if you take it one by one, it's more doable. And so it's an exercise that you can, do for evaluating your relationships and seeing, yeah, what parts are connected to whom. And then again, if you need to let go, and you feel like you can and you cannot and you cannot, this could be an exercise to see if that helps. Of course, there are some connections with people that are based on contracts that you did before incarnation, so that would be another type of tea. but it's a whole exploration. And so as long as you have a good intention, and that's maybe the last thing I want to say, is that you don't get to connect chords when your intention is not pure. You will be banned from seeing them. So it's not like I want to connect my chords to someone without um, a good intention, or like, so always like have that in mind. Again, whenever you do these processes, go first to like a meditation and prepare yourself, and then if that helps, you can go ahead and cut those cords. So I hope that's helpful. I know it's a little bit out there, but this is little by little me sharing my view of the world that obviously share with many others. And so some of the contents, more and more, might sound very odd to you, but I truly believe that if you're ready for them and it resonates with you, it could be useful. So bear with me. And that's it. I really hope that you are having good relationships that are supportive of you, that are healing, and any difficult relationships that you're having, that you can find your way to heal them and to come back to yourself. So that's all for now. I wish you well. Take care. And enjoy this moon phase that is very yummy to be cuddling at home, and just enjoying rest. Okay? Bye bye.